Do you? I mean, I know we just tracked the episode on forgiveness, but like, did I make you mad? I mean, are you trying to exact
I just
revenge?
really like that spike over there. It's so nice. Look at it.
Yeah, it does. It makes a great spike on the waveform, but it has to go through my ear hole. Not technically, but God bless America. You're gonna break that thing.
I mean, I don't even know if it probably wasn't even $10 from Amazon. So.
Well, there you go. All right. Welcome back to The Regular Dad. Today we are talking about, Jimmy, what it looks like.
How to give good gifts to your family.
Yes.
And your wife and your kids, which is your family.
For those of you just learning this information, you've got a lot to catch up on, especially if you are a father. Now, gifts, you're like, I'm broke. Okay, no. Shush.
I mean, my wife worded it better.
Yeah.
How does a man choose and give gifts to his family?
Right. So we're not speaking exclusively to material gifts now, and there's a couple of things that we can.
The chemical shelf over there is making noise. I don't know what that means.
It was a temperature change. As long as there's not a sudden depressurization of the container that it's in.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're all right.
Okay.
If we hear more of those, we should probably take a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. Social media profile. I don't have a book to feature today because I hadn't wrapped up too many. But ask Nancy Houston. Okay. Nancy Houston is a licensed professional counselor and does a ton of couples work and has a lot of her professional career. In the church circles, we would call it a ministry, but in a professional setting, her focus has been on helping couples heal and move forward from, when you get hung up. So she's a great marriage therapist, but she also has a very, very keen focus on sex. All right. So
we like sex.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, sorry, Mom.
Why are we sorry, Mom?
I don't know.
You wouldn't exist.
Thanks, Mom.
There you go.
Now it's awkward. God bless. Okay, it's awkward now. But thanks, Mom. Okay. Now,
anyways,
so Nancy Houston, on her podcast, and then she has books out about it. She talks about just what that should look like, how that relationship, should exist inside of a marriage. Don't, y'all, well, you can have sex with it. I'm not getting into that. We're talking about married couples, and what it should look like, how it should function, and the different things, that it should add, to your relationship.
Cool.
And does just a phenomenal job with it. So she actually is a friend. A church that I used to work at had her in a few times, and then I had the opportunity to get to sit and visit with her and her husband. Good looking guy. Ron is with a cool Corvette that I don't fit in, but
Corvettes are hard to get in and out of.
Yeah.
I
can get in them. It's the get out that is the problem.
It's really low.
Yeah, like 6 inches off the ground or something. I don't know, but anyway. So
it's low center of gravity. Anyway,
check out Ask Nancy Houston. Great little shorts all over her social media stuff, but then she just got some really good content
cool
to draw from. So anyway, so giving good gifts to your family. The first thing that came to my mind really on this was legacy. Like what is it? What does it look like? Because if I think, all right, the gifts that my dad gave me. Now there was there's lots of material gifts. I mean, you get birthdays and Christmas, and there's stuff throughout the year or whatnot, and they had an ability to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay, if I think about Dina, okay, they were dirt floor poor.
Right.
They were in some cases I mean, they couldn't even afford the last letters
right.
of the word poor.
Right.
Okay. It was the six of them for a season in a 900 square foot house.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a hole where you could see the dirt. It was a pier and beam house. In the laundry room. That was it was just a hole, just a hole. I didn't grow up like that.
You're right.
You know. So now she would still say that there were several gifts that her parents gave her, different things that they instilled. Okay. One of the probably the most significant that I would assume that she would mention, or at least be on the list, is just the gift of generosity.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have money to give all the time, though they would, you know, to people that had even less than them, which is hard to fathom. But her dad's name was Floyd, great redneck name, Floyd Bohan from Mississippi. Great man. He's gone on with the Lord now, but when he wasn't working, when during, you know, evenings off or weekend or whatever it was, he would go help people work on their air conditioners.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, all right, if you can buy this part, I'll come in and put it in for you.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, neighbor helping neighbor.
Yeah.
And where they grew up in Mississippi, there was a ton of that. And so anyway, now I'm not trying to just speak for my wife on this, but I just know that is a huge gift that she carries to this day. And loves to look for opportunities to be generous to those around her through just consideration. It may not monetary, but just considering other people and valuing other people. So, what would you say? You know,
So it's interesting because when she texted that, I thought more about the material side of things.
Sure.
Because it's an important discussion in our family.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot.
Yeah.
We just do.
Yeah.
Subjectively, we have a lot. And that season may end at some point, and I'm open to that. You know?
Yeah.
It's like Paul, right?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
It
is what it is, man.
Learn to be content in little and learn to be content in a lot.
Yeah.
But my kids have been raised in it, like probably you did. And I don't know what your parents did in this area. You don't strike me as a guy who grew up entitled. But I don't want to be...
Dad would thump me down a notch if I
right,
ever
and
presented that
I'm
way.
the same with my kids. And so I love... Because I grew up with not much, and now we have a lot, there's a tendency to be like, just shower them with all the things that I couldn't have when I was a kid, right? But I've had to be careful with that I am, as a dad, I am really... I think pretty generous with my kids.
Right.
I mean, we were just looking at the little go-kart.
Dude, that thing's cool though. I remember.
I remember calling you about that and being like, is this too excessive? And you're like, you're not going to be able to, what did you say? You're not ever going to get those memories back.
Yeah, you're not going to regret a single memory that thing's going to make.
And so but it's interesting because it's like I choose when I do spend money and am generous. Sometimes I'll call a trusted friend.
Yep.
Sometimes, usually the wife is in on this. She wasn't in on that conversation because I wanted her to be surprised with the boys.
Yeah. And that fits because it was a Christmas thing.
And it's like
it wasn't a Tuesday decision, you know.
It's one of those things. So I'm getting around to the point. So we had a friend who comes out and is helping my son learn tennis.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of tennis and he's been helping, you know. We don't pay for like tennis lessons, but he comes out and he's helped. And I played a little tennis in high school, so we've been playing together.
Yep.
But he said something to Wilson that both Kim and I were like, wow, that feels really good. Like, thank you, God. That, you know, he said, you know, I guess he has some kids in his family who are of one of his children, I think, like grandkids.
Okay.
They're pretty well-to-do, and those kids are of the attitude that when they break something, it's just like, well, mom and dad will just buy me a new one.
Yes.
And this gentleman said, you know, Wilson, you're not like that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it means to me that means that they get it, that we're somehow we're instilling, even though we have a lot, we're instilling the perspective that first of all, this is not guaranteed. Right. Like what we have is not guaranteed.
Yep.
These gifts that I'm giving you, you're not entitled to. They come out of the generosity of my heart.
Right.
Because I love you.
Yeah.
But the moment that you start to feel like you're entitled to those things, they're going away.
Yeah.
Because that means that now the things I'm giving you are getting in the way of what I'm trying to, the legacy, really, I'm trying to grow inside of you, which
Right.
is the bigger gift.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you're right. That's the bigger gift.
Yeah.
And if those things that I'm giving you materially are getting in the way of that, I'm taking those away.
Yep.
And we're going to work on the core before we bring those things back in, because these things can ruin you if you're not healthy inside here.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, and just, hearing you talk about that, and when I opened it up and I said, it brought to mind legacy. Mm-hmm. Well, and I talked a little bit about the legacy of Floyd. And now my dad, there were things, he's been gone 4.5 years now, and there's still things that we're finding out,
Mm-hmm.
that he did, or, how he took care of someone, just because, but that's what gave him joy.
Yeah.
And so he would never, run around telling people, what he did.
Yeah.
He would just, if there was a need, he would just take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Okay. I knew a little bit of it, but I didn't really realize that there's instances that where I know something's going on, and I just take care of it because I can, because I want to, and I'm like, oh, Dad did that, and so it's kind of like this. Yeah. All right. And people just thought really well of him.
Yeah. Dude, what a legacy.
That's awesome. And so that's really cool. But if I think about something, just in what we've talked about with apologies and forgiveness and gift giving, I cannot tell you a person that I know of, and I was with Dad for 40 years. Mm-hmm. I know some of those I was a little kid. Okay, but still, I don't know anyone that he walked around carrying a grudge towards.
That's amazing.
I just don't know it. I know plenty of people.
Yeah.
That upset him, mm-hmm. or whatever.
Yeah.
I know people that talked bad about him in the community.
Yeah.
Professional, church-wise.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons, and I don't know the totality of those reasons, and that would bother him, mm-hmm. and then it was gone.
Yeah.
And so professionally, Dad was respected by most everyone. Mm-hmm. And the people that I know that are like, oh, I don't like what he does or how he does it. Those people have reputations of being absolute tools.
Yeah.
Not sorry, Mom. And not that any of those people are going to hear it, but,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but it's kind of like, oh, okay. The reason that you have something mm-hmm. against, so we won't get into that. Anyway, but, what a cool gift to get indirectly.
Yeah.
Of the, hey, life's too short to hold grudges.
Yeah. That's a good point too, is like your legacy can be a gift to your family after you're gone.
Yeah.
We talk about legacy like, they name schools after you, or you did something important that people remember. But like, how cool is it that now and then you meet someone who's like, Ben Shelton?
Yeah.
Hey, I knew your dad.
Yep.
There was one time he like paid my car payment for me.
Yep.
And you're just like,
yep.
Like, what a legacy.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That is a cool gift,
yeah.
a lasting gift
to
give to your family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and again, like we said, material things. Yeah, Dad could do that. There were also times that plenty of times, because, he was self-employed, and you ride the wave. It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad, it's good. And so, but there were times there was a time in particular we were supposed to go on a fishing trip, me and him, mm-hmm. and there was a guy that came through town. He's a missionary, and Dad was like, hey, I'm going to give the money for the fishing trip to this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we don't get to go fishing because some dude came in, right, wrong, and different. I'm not, really getting into that. Money
Good lesson
up.
for you.
Yeah, money showed up from a different place, but I was young enough to be kind of butthurt about it.
Yeah.
But then I was also old enough to go, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And so
on.
yeah, and so the two, kind of mm-hmm. combined. made a lasting impression. But if you're sitting there listening to this and go, well, that's great, but I don't have two nickels to rub together, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you have character.
Yeah.
And you have integrity and you have a moral compass. Okay.
Well,
and it doesn't cost anything to pray for your kids. And it doesn't cost anything to give them a hug or to love on them.
Right.
Or, it doesn't.
And those things are hard for guys sometimes. That would be my thing, really, whether it's material or non-material. You need to know your children.
Yeah.
And when Kim asked that question, I think maybe part of a component of this was, how do you as a dad get to know your kids and your wife?
Yep.
And give them gifts that are not necessarily associated with something that you are, I don't know, what's the word for it? You're edified by.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Bring self-glorification.
Right.
Yeah.
So whether it's material or non-material, if you know your kids and you know your wife and you know what they love and you know what they enjoy, you know what would make them, a bright spot in their day, even if you don't have two nickels to rub together, is that smile? Is that praise?
Right.
So
the very interesting, thing here is how many times have we heard, the dad, well, I'm working late and doing all this so I can buy you all this stuff, and then,
that's just not,
and the anecdote is, well, we really just wanted the time with you. Okay. Well, so that's, but that's a real thing. Or there's I don't feel like being a dad, so let me buy you stuff,
right?
That go away. So not those kind of gifts. This is we are establishing and furthering and building a relationship here.
Yeah.
So on the beginning, look at what gifts can you give that cost nothing.
Yeah.
So retool your definition of a gift.
Yeah.
Okay. And take the time to tell your kids that you love them. Turn the game off. Put the phone down.
Yeah.
Take
the day off work.
Yeah. Do something.
Tell the boss no. Hey, can you come in on your day off? No.
Right. And so, and give gifts of that nature that are non-materialistic, that are investments in a relationship. Give relational gifts.
Yeah.
And
those are the things they're going to remember.
You give a relational gift, then when the other stuff shows up, when it's time to do something material wise, assuming that, it can be afforded or whatnot, then it's received in a whole lot healthier way, because now it's not something, this is dad trying to shut me up or get me to go away or whatnot. This is, no, he truly sees me and truly knows. And so I think that the best way to give gifts, keep it in balance, one, invest relationally, and let that be kind of the guidepost, and make sure that any materialistic gift that you ever give is never a substitute for something relational.
That's good. It should be an addition to or a connection in.
Yeah, and it should be an extension of the relationship and not a substitute for it. And okay, I'm sorry, I didn't make it to your baseball game because the flight was canceled. I got you a new baseball glove. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, but not the
still is relation.
Yeah,
it's not.
It conveys. I'm sorry, I wasn't there, but it's not. Hey, I'm not because I'm going on this, or just living your own life.
If it's a pattern, If it's a pattern, then
So-
maybe we need to talk about your airline choices.
Well, maybe they should be calling charter. I mean, just saying. So, but anyway, so that's, I think that's what I would say about that. I know that when I invest in my kids relationally, that it does not, I could show up with the brand new ski boat. I'm not going to, Dina, don't worry. Probably not. But that would be for me. But, and the kids would love it.
Yeah.
Okay. But my kids, if I'm just say, hey, we're going to go, we'll put them both in the truck, say, we're going to go get an ice cream. We're going to go get, go get a hot dog. Or we're just going to we're going to listen to some music together.
Yeah.
The other day, the three of us, we got together and said, hey, we're going to take a minute. We're going to pray for each other. I'm going to pray for y'all. You pray for each other.
Yeah.
Banks is, playing a little bit and trying to figure out the whole, how do we play and kind of do it in a worshipful, approach. And then I said, and Banks, I want you to play. Mm-hmm. We're not going to say anything, not going to see anything. You're just going to play, and we're just going to pray. And
that's awesome.
And just kind of see. And dude, you talk about, the Lord showed up. We got
awesome,
down to
dude.
business, but that was a huge gift. Yeah. I didn't really know where we were going.
How empowering for your kids too.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know where this is headed, but this is, kind of what I want to do. And, so that, that was a really cool thing. Didn't cost anything,
right.
And, so don't disqualify yourself. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have it.
Yeah.
You have something.
Yeah.
You had time enough to make the kid. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So, 3 minutes. Yeah, well, whatever. Give him 3 minutes. I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good place to start. 3 minutes.
Okay. Give him a 30-second hug.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, Mom. Just be intentional. And I think you could say be the gift of intentionality.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just be intentional.
Yeah.
Not haphazard.
Yeah.
Dina is such a good actual material gift giver with intentionality. I vapor lock. I can see stuff throughout the year and go, that person would like this, that person would like this, that, okay. But it comes time to a holiday season or a birthday or something when you're supposed to give it. And I'm like,
yeah, I'm the same way. No,
I don't know what to do.
I prefer to just give these random extravagant gifts because I just like.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Yes, you do.
So it is what it is.
And my knife is a testament to that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but, and I like to do that here. You need this,
Yeah.
But when I can, this is kind of one of those seasons. I'm like, okay, here's this coupon that I got for free queso,
dude. It's
because that's what I got, right now.
Yeah.
And that'll change, but it is what it is.
Again, though, it's not about the material side of things; it's about the relational side.
Absolutely.
Of things. I think that's a really good way to.
Yeah. Give someone some of your
tie
time.
It up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, all right. Well, anything else to add there?
No, man.
All right.
I think we summarized it well.
Dr. Kim, medicine woman. Hopefully, we have answered that question.
That's right.
To your approval. But again, if we need to clarify anything, as always, you can contact us directly.
That's right,
Dr. K, because you know how to.
Yeah.
Or anyone else can email us at contact@theregulaردad.com.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you here next time.